Hello, and welcome to the last review of the month, which is Doctor Who and the Daleks, the 1965 Peter Cushing film. So, there's the main reason why I decided to review this now is because I couldn't really come up with anything for uh, this last video. Um, just couldn't. So I decided, whilst it's still fresh in my memory, even though I'm filming this in February, I last watched it in November. I do the Doctor Who and the Daleks movie that myself and Garrett over at Video Tasties did a live watch party of back in November. So yeah, now I know a lot of people will say that they prefer the Dalek invasion of Earth 2150 AD, and I haven't rewatched that yet to fully say, but I like this film. It's a good film. I mean, it is essentially just taking the script of the second Doctor Who serial, Doctor Who and the Daleks, and turning it into a movie because that's literally what it is. Because when I rewatched this last year, it was pretty close to when they were going to be showing the Doctor Who and the Daleks in color. Um, Last November. And as I was watching that version, the edited down version, I was like, oh, it's literally just one and one, with some minor changes. Which, in a sense, I understand kind of why that was. Terry Nation, he held the rights to these things. Because back in the day, when you wrote a script, you owned the rights for any new thing that you introduced. Terry Nation created the Daleks. So he had the rights to it. And of course, Daleks, when they were seen in that serial, fucking exploded. There was Dalek mania all over the place in the late 60s. Even to this day, the Daleks are is the most iconic villain in Doctor Who. So obviously, something that popular was going to get a movie made out of it, and we got two. So yeah, it is in canon to the whole Doctor Who universe, but it's its own separate thing. So yeah, like I said, there are some minor changes from the original story to this movie. That being, um, Doctor Who, played by Peter Cushing, is literally called Doctor Who. Um, he's not an alien. He's just a really good scientist that created the TARDIS and created the bigger on the inside and the whole time machine thing. Um, he has two grandchildren, um, Barbara and Susan, and Susan has a boyfriend named Ian. And those are the changes. That's literally it. Those are the few changes from, as well as, Barbara isn't a school teacher. Same, Ian, if I remember correctly, is. And then Susan is a lot younger than Caroline Ford was when uh, when she started in the show. So those are really the only changes. So everything else plays out beat for beat, nearly compared to the original story. Now, um, one great thing about this film for back in the time when it came out was Doctor Who episodes usually never repeated back then. Just TV shows episodes in general just never really repeated, and because there's no way to record them, um, you literally had to either sit there when the episode aired, or you just missed out and you potentially never got to see it again. And so Doctor Who fans that were coming into starting to get into the show in 1964 and 1965, never seen the early serials. So when this film got made, they literally had the chance to finally see it. Um, because as well, Doctor Who and the Daleks for a time was lost. They eventually found it, of course, and then obviously it's more available to see. But back then, it was literally just word of mouth, and usually memory over time isn't all that reliable. But with this film, seeing it's literally near one to one, like the actual episode itself, um, movies usually were played more often than TV episodes. So that was just something I was thinking about prior to doing this review. Anyway, so the Daleks. I have some little issues with that, and it's just the poor direction of the the lights. You know, they're constantly flashing when even when the Dalek isn't speaking, because they're only supposed to do that when that happens. Uh, I like the colors. I like that we actually got variety of Daleks, the Dalek colors, which we don't really get all that much. You know, the last time we attempted something like that was in 2010, season 5, episode 3, Victory of the Daleks, when we got introduced to the Paradigm Daleks, which was not liked when that came out. Sorry, I love them, and I still do. And it's a great shame that we never got to see much more of the dynamics of the Paradigm Dollars because they literally showed up in the last 10 minutes of the episode, so they didn't really get to do too much. And then the next time they were seen was in the Bandorka Opens, but that was just a stone lone version of the Dalek. And then the next time after that was um, the Wedding of River Song, the season 6 finale, and then we've seen some of them in uh, Asylum of the Daleks, but then they brought back the bronze design because fans just did not like the Paradigm Daleks. Anyway, yeah, so Peter Cushing as the Doctor, I like. You know, he doesn't get a whole lot to do. You know, he doesn't really talk all that much. He doesn't really embody too much of what William Hartnell brought to the show, but he still did a good enough job. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the performance. Just based off of this rewatch, again, I still have yet to rewatch the Dalek Invasion of Earth 2150 AD. I'll probably do that review later on down this year. Um, but yeah, it's a good performance. Because I've only seen two, technically three movie roles of Peter Cushing. That being the two Doctor Who movies and Star Wars Episode 4. That's it. And it's a career that I definitely need to delve more into because I know he was also part of I think it was the Hammer horror style of things, which is another thing that I should probably get into as well. Because I know a few people in this film community that absolutely love Hammer horror. Um, and yeah, so like overall, I mean, it's a good story. It's a good story. The Daleks was always a good story. Long in a lot of places, and definitely drags in certain places. Uh, but for what it was back in 1965, the sets were amazing. Even on Blu-ray, they look when it got restored for Blu-ray, it looks gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. I was thinking, I was watching when I was rewatching, I was like, this really came out in 1965. It looks too good. It looks too good. Now, I haven't seen what the 4K transfer looks like, but I'm pretty sure it looks that bit better as well. But yeah, that's my take on this film. It's really really good. I really enjoyed it, but I understand why a lot of people prefer the Dalek Invasion of Earth 2150 AD because you know this is literally just one to one remake of the original Doctor Who and the Daleks story from 63 slash 64. So yeah, let me know what you thought of this film in the comments down below. And that is going to wrap us up for March. I probably will have another video, the first Cinevlog, hopefully out, because the movie that I should have been to see today was Kung Fu Panda 4. So hopefully I'll have a Cinevlog for that. But thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I shall see you all on the next upload.